Okay, I received a manuscript today from a friend of mine who asked me to publish it for him. So I've done one before for him. I'm going to do it again, and he was kind enough to let me use it as a demo. So to do this, I'm going to use Word. I'm going to create a cover in Illustrator, something similar to this. I'm going to use paint.net. It's kind of like a Photoshop, but it's free and it's simple enough to do what I need to do with it. We're also going to publish the book when it's all finished, when it's formatted and we have the cover built and we're ready to go. We will actually publish it as an ebook, a paperback, and we're going to create a separate cover art for the hardback. We're also going to cover in marketing the A+ content, this part right here. This is the extra art you see when you're browsing through looking at books, the extra art that is below the book itself. We're going to create this art in Illustrator and we're going to publish it to the US market. We're going to publish to Amazon.com, but we're also going to create a Amazon Content Plus for the UK, maybe India, and maybe a couple of other English-speaking countries. Because when we're marketing, we're going to create an Instagram ads that are specifically targeting other countries. Here's a hashtag for Canada, here's a hashtag for Australia, here's a hashtag for... So we want an Australian teacher to click on the link, and when they go to see the book, we want them to see a nice page full like this, like you would see in the US. Because we are going to market this book all over the world, so we may as well make it nice for everyone. I'm going to format this document into a 6x9 paperback to be published on KDP. I'm going to do that. I have a master. I'm going to do it in Word. I'm going to create the cover in Illustrator. I have a master with a link in the description. I'll go ahead and play along. I'll open up an incognito page. Get rid of that one. I have the link here. Copy that. Put that in our browser. There it is. This is a perfect master. I use it all the time. Saves me a lot of extra work. But I want that Word document. I don't want to do it in Google Docs. So I'm going to go to File, Download, Microsoft Word, and I'll let it go into Downloads. I'm going to create a folder. _book, lantern _book. In this folder, I'm going to create original. I'm going to go to downloads and I'm going to put this in the original folder. Now I'm going to go to that Word document and here it is. It's beautiful. First thing I would do is go to the dedication page. Oh, enable editing. Dedication page. Double click the one page number. Right click. Format page numbers. Change it to these Roman numerals here. These will look much better much more classy. Turn off the paragraph, double click within that, and here it is. It's beautiful. At this point, I'm going to do a save as book, and I'm going to save it book lantern. There you go. Okay. Start at the beginning here. I'm going to go ahead and put in lantern here. I'm going to replace all this. I have information. We don't need this anymore. I have all the information I need to fill in the dedication, the acknowledgement about the author, and then we're going to complete this book. So I'm going to use the paragraph button, page break, section break, page break, section break, and then the last section. So it's 3 sections. 1 section, beginning of the 2nd section, end of the 2nd section. And you can tell because the Roman numerals are numbering the 2nd section. Go to the beginning. After the 1st section break, Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then when we get to the introduction, it switches to a 2nd section. This is the end of the 2nd section. This is the beginning of the 3rd section. You're going to get regular page numbers. Okay? Okay. So, let's go ahead and fill in the author. This title of book and author's name right here. Let's go ahead and, on page 1, double click title of book. Author's name. And that should fill in the rest of the book. So you've got your page numbers, the author name, your table of contents ready to go, and your dedication. Now, the dedication, the acknowledgement about the author, I have a document off to my side that has all that information. Well, here we are. It's looking good. I have a document off to the side that's going to help me fill in the dedication, the acknowledge about the author, and then we're going to put it all together here. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and put in lantern here, but I'm going to be replacing this section of it. Let me see, I'm referring to my subtitle. This is going to be replaced. We're going to replace this with an image because we want the title page in here, inside cover of it, to match the same font style as the cover of the book. So I'm going to put that in as a placeholder for now. And let's go ahead and continue. The dedication, I'm going to go to my notes here. Copy. Control V. Acknowledgement. We're going to leave the acknowledgement blank. We are going to replace this. There's not going to be an acknowledgement per se. There will be an acknowledgement, I believe, but I think we're going to mix it in with the dedication. We're going to use this page for something else about the author. Copy. and Control V. Okay. Looking there, looking good. Okay. I want to do something here. I want to go to the original document. Okay. I have a JPEG with some information that I'm going to use. Page setup. What I'm looking for is this right here. I am going to set up the original document to these settings. I'm going to do a select all, line spacing, and I am going to match what I see on the left, which is justified, body text, first line, 0.25 indentation, 6 point, I'm going to say don't add, line spacing 1.5, and I'm going to OK that. Okay, so there it is. It's starting to look like we can use it. At this point, you can go in here to your original document and just select chapter 1. Here's to the end of chapter 1. See it? Copy. And you can just paste in chapter 1. See? Control V. Okay? This right here is going to be header 1. And then there's going to be a subchapter. I believe it is in this right here. This is going to be the subchapter to 1. So let's take that, copy, and put it in after chapter 1. Right here, I'm going to put a page break. That's Control Enter. Okay? Control V. Okay? So here is chapter 1. Take it to the top. I'm going to highlight it. Select header. Check the spacing. Everything looks good. Okay. I'm going to go to the subchapter of 1. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to call it header 2. Header 2 is going to set up as a subchapter to header 1. Let's go to View, Show Navigation Pane. You can see your chapters here. See them? I'm going to put a space down. Take out that indentation. Space down. Right here, I'm going to put a little map. It's going to be a little illustration. Insert. Pictures. This device. Here we go. We are looking for Harvest Hill. Insert. Right click, size. We're going to make it 3 inches. Okay. Let's give it a little space between that and the title of the chapter. Another little space here. And we are going to center this. Oh, That actually belongs there. Oops. There you go. Space. Oh, sorry. And center. Let's bring this up. What about there? I think that looks good. And put a space here. Sorry. And that is header 2. Check the spacing. No on that. And center. Got a little gap there too. Little space. So here we are. Chapter 1 with its subchapter, its image, introduction. I've got an introduction. I've got the words off to, I got my notes here. Let's go ahead and grab that. Control V. Introduction is already set. So we've got the dedication, acknowledgement, which we're going to replace, about the author, introduction, chapter 1. Now, what you're seeing here, chapter 1, I'm going to have to do this to every chapter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed things up. Well, it's looking pretty good here, but we're still missing 12 chapters because it's a 13 chapter book and we only put 1 chapter in. So let's go ahead and just get the rest of the book, and we're going to set the headers ourselves. So we're going to select everything from chapter 2 forward. Right here. We're going to copy that. We're bringing our master to the front. We are going to select everything from chapter 2 to chapter 3, and we are going to paste and keep the formatting of our book. This book here was actually 8.5 by 11, but if you noticed, when we copied it into our master, it's resized to a different layout, which is actually for our publication of the 6x9 paperback. Looking pretty good. So at this point, I am going to start at chapter 2, and I am going to format it to look like chapter 1. I'm going to set header 1. I'm going to go to the second half of the chapter, and I'm going to set that in header 2. And I am going to place a map below the location date line below the chapter title, and I'm going to insert this illustration into each chapter. Bring that to the top, set that as header, check my line spacing, looks good. Justify left, remove the indentation, add a return, insert this device, go away, insert, right click, size and position, we'll go with 3 inches, okay. We're going to center it, check our spacing, everything still looks good, return, add the indentation, got the first half of the second chapter done. Pretty easy. Second half of the chapter. Let's close these gaps. There. I want to make sure that this spacing is good. I believe it is now. And this is the second half of the second chapter. So we're going to return this back, remove the space in between, take it to the top, and mark it as header 2. Give it a return. Go back to line spacing. Since that's a header, we do not want first line, so we'll say none to the indentation. We'll still say no space, and then center. Now, I notice this is not the same narrative as the rest of the story. This is more of a narrative like a story, and this is more of a report. So I'm going to remove the indentions on this half. So I'm going to take the indentions out where each part is separated by a space. And I think it looks more official that way. There. This is chapter 2. We'll add a space, go to our navigation pane, turn it on. We'll use this to maneuver through the job. When I select header 1, 1.2, Grinner of Gull Bay, and how it was forgotten as the second part. And there we are. I'm going to do this for the rest of the book. I'm going to, what I just did to chapter 2 and the subchapter for chapter 2, I am going to repeat for the next 10 chapters. We've done 1, 2, and I'm going to do the next 11 chapters that same way. So here we go. Okay, well that's it. I believe I've just finished the last chapter here. I believe we have an image for every chapter. Let's go ahead and update the table of contents. And look at that. Beautiful. We have to check chapter 5, so let's look at chapter 5. Go to the second half of chapter 5, and I think I missed that one. So I'm going to remove this blank area, bring this together, and add the second header. Remove the indentation from the second half of the chapter. First line, we'll say none, and they're gone. See? See, it had an indentation too. Open the book, you'll have something a little nicer than just a bunch of fonts here for the title. This acknowledgement here, we're going to put an image here. I believe I have it, so let's see if we can go ahead and do that now. I'm I'm going to go in and say insert. And we are going to insert this right here. Might make it fun. You see, while we're doing that, this hard edge of this oval, we're going to go in here and say format, soft edges, and we're going to give that a soft edge. You see that? We can do that with the maps too if we wanted to. See this right here? We go it and give it a soft edge too, see? You could overdo it, see? Just want to give it a nice little soft edge. If you wanted to, you could do that. Okay, well anyway, I'm going to continue doing this. I think you get the idea of how to put illustrations in, how to set the header, maybe the subheader if you have subchapters. It's looking pretty good. See it? Okay. That's the entire book. And if you could see down here in the lower left-hand corner, we're going to go ahead and close the original because we're done with the original document. We're all about this one now. This is the book. I'm going to save it. And I see down here it's 110 pages. That's important because we need to know how many pages it is in order to download a die that is created for this book that we are going to create the cover for. It needs to know the number of pages because it needs to know how thick to make the spine.